Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name is Josh. I want to thank you so much for being here, hanging out with me during your daily, whatever you do. A lot of people told me I'm a daily part of their routine, and I love it. And I want to just thank you for making me a part of your daily routine. Coming here to check out what we're always talking about, who we're snarking on, serious topics, and all those kinds of things. If you want to support this channel in other ways, you can head over to my Teespring store and pick up some merch. There's some really cool stuff. There's going to be some Christmas stuff coming down soon. I'm going to start talking about Christmas and those gifts you should be getting for your husband, just so you're aware. If you're wondering, that's coming down the pike. I'm very excited about it. But that's all coming up. But another way you can support is by joining this channel. You get early videos, and you get to get on the wheel, and join my Patreon. You also get early videos and get on the wheel. There's a couple ways you can support me, and I really appreciate you being here and supporting this channel. Also hitting like and subscribe, or don't, I don't care. But otherwise, today we're talking about the 8 passengers fiasco. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of a different tact on this because it sucks. And I don't want to revel and enjoy all this crap because I don't think it's because I don't think it's enjoyable. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's like to come up and say, because again, you guys, what we do here is we try to be, in most cases, a voice for kids who are voiceless, right? And so that's what's going on here is actually quite really disgustingly sad. And unfortunately is the way that most family vloggers go because their lives are fake. And eventually it all catches up to them. So let's talk about it. So if you're new to this channel and you're wondering what we do, we call out exploiters generally, for the most part. This cat will not leave me alone. This guy right here. He just wants to come hang out, and that's fine. But not when I'm doing videos, Mr. Man. Okay? 8 Passengers is a family vlog. They have over 1 billion views. Okay? They have made well over $1 million for sure dollars on YouTube. 100%. Maybe if not multiples of millions of dollars. Okay? For Ruby, it's Ruby and what the hell's his name? Ruby and Kevin are the parents of this family and they are highly Mormon. Okay, when I say highly Mormon, they're fundamentalists. But recently, something has kind of happened that is kind of questioning what is going on. And it's going to be a multi-tiered thing that I'm going to conjecturize, TM, about what's going on. But in order to get there, we have to talk about where they came from. So the whole family, okay, have family vlogs. Every single member of this family have highly successful family vlogs, but none as successful as 8 Passengers. They are the most successful of all of them. Secondary is probably Helene, and then Jared and Ellie or whatever, and so on and so forth, okay? But 8 Passengers is the one that really, really took off. Now, it's because they are the most exploitative in every single way. In the last video, I talked about how they gave away all their kids' privacy and everything else by talking about their kids shaving legs, and they talked about how the one daughter doesn't want to be on the video, and they laughed at her, and then all the videos about her are like super private things about her acne and periods and puberty and all this kind of stuff. It's just disgusting. So Ruby has never missed an opportunity to make content, right? Where there's an accident on the highway and she pulls over and is like, oh my God, and she films the whole thing. Or her kid needs to go to the hospital, so she takes some me time first and sits in a bathtub and says, okay, well, I guess we're ready to go to the hospital now. And just is an idiot. Doesn't make her kids lunch. A 5-year-old, the teacher calls and she's like, well, I guess she's going to starve because she didn't make her own lunch. Ruby is a negligent parent. She is a disgusting. And so is Kevin, because Kevin allows this to happen, by the way. Kevin, in a Mormon family, love it or hate it, Mormons are patriarchal. The man runs the show in a Mormon culture, okay? The man can have multiple wives in the afterlife. Not the fundamentalists can do now on earth, but in the afterlife, if Kevin gets remarried, that extra wife, he gets that extra wife in the afterlife, according to Mormons, okay? Ruby doesn't, but he does. It is a patriarchal society. Okay, the man is the head of the household, runs everything. The woman is supposed to be just literally a bearer of children and a place to bury your. That's it. That's what Mormon women are all about. And they'll come at you. The Mormon women will come at you all day long and say, "That's not it." Okay, I don't believe you because it's true. Okay, it's just the way it is. And I've talked to Mormons on this channel many times. Women are second-class citizens in Mormon culture. The end. So it's odd that Ruby takes the head and the reins of this whole family. She is the boss. And that's just the way it goes. Ruby has said many things like when the kids turn 18, they're out. And this isn't their bedroom, it's my bedroom, I'm loaning it to them. And they don't get any of this money, it's my money. Like Ruby is a greedy, selfish turd. Okay? And so is Kevin. Needless to say that they sent their kid off to a camp called Anasazi, and we don't know why. Likely because he was going through some issues normal teenagers go through. But not Mormon teenagers. They're not allowed to go through normal shit. They're not allowed to do the things that normal teenagers are because holiness. It's ridiculous. So that leads us up to this point. Everybody's sending messages. Everybody's on Reddit. Everybody's talking about it. That Ruby and Kevin have broken up or are not living together, and it has been confirmed, according to Reddit. Okay? And so everything in this video, for what it's worth, is probably legitimately correct, but I have to say, as a caveat, it's not been confirmed unless it's been confirmed by Ruby and Kevin themselves. Now, yesterday, someone sent me a picture of them driving on the highway. And they're like, I cannot believe that these people have their logo on their van, right? And a person that lives near them also sent me a picture. I'm not asking people to do this. They just do it. They're like, how stupid is this family? They park their van with their logo on the outside of their house. Okay? These people are stupid. So there you go. Anyway, so it's been conjecturized by this post 8 days ago on Reddit. Kevin and Chad are currently not living with the rest of the family. I live in the same town as this family. Currently, Kevin and Chad are living in a different home as the rest of the family. Wondering why? What's going on there? This, and then the person on this is called A Passenger Snark, by the way, on Reddit. The post in this post is in the verification process. I'll provide an update when I learn more, but personal info relations to the Frankie family will not be shared publicly. We must be respectful of the poster's privacy. Update: this has been verified by a other user than the OP, which is the original poster. If you're wondering what, everybody ever wonders what OP means, it's original poster. If this is true, Kevin and Ruby are currently separate. Jodie must be thrilled. Now, Jodie is the person that steps in from Connections. Here's what happened. Over 8 months ago, the last video on 8 Passengers was Ellie gets baptized or something like that. And people are wondering why he stopped. Because Ruby pivoted to doing this thing called Connections with a lady named Jodie, who is a farce, okay? And has been like lost her license at one point or had it suspended at some point for just giving away information to people she shouldn't have been giving information away. One of Ruby's family members left a bad comment on this thing and said, this is not a trustworthy place to go for counseling. It's not a place. It's just not. Mormons inherently, if you are a fundamental Mormon, you're a rat. You're a narc. They are taught to narc on each other. I've done many videos about BYU and how the culture of narking is huge there, right? You say, oh, this person is drinking or having sex, whatever, they can get booted out of school based on somebody telling on you. It's your job, if you see another Mormon sinning, to go to your bishop and tell them that that person is sinning. All garment checks and everything else. The Mormon culture sounds like shit. But again, it all comes back to this whole thing. The Connections is Mormon tied, and Ruby is pivoting to becoming a parenting guru, or so she wants to go, a parenting coach, or a life coach or whatever. She said this a while back before the channel even stopped. So Ruby has had this in place for a little while. Now, curiously enough, after Ruby started Connections, all of her family stopped following her. They were not in any vlogs. There was no Connections anymore. Something happened. And at first I thought, hey, it's probably Kevin and Ruby deciding to go along the crazy fundamentalist path of Mormonism, because Kevin is a professor at BYU. That's very important information, because as a BYU professor at a Mormon university, Kevin can't not be seen to be living in any type of sin, because he will get fired. He has to live by the Mormon code of conduct at BYU, and if he's caught living outside of that, he's gone. You can fire you for that because you signed something that said, yes, I will live in this world. I will live above reproach. I will live by Mormon standards. And I'm almost sure that it also includes divorce, by the way, unless it has to do something like drug abuse, addiction, or cheating, whatever the case may be. And I highly doubt Kevin or Ruby are cheating on each other, okay? I honestly believe this, that they're both asexual. I honestly believe that, they've been married for so long. I get that vibe, and I could be completely wrong, because Kevin has done videos about his porn addiction and like his expectations for his wife. So maybe Kevin is not asexual, but Ruby's kind of like, I'm done. I've had the kids and kind of finished with this thing. And we know that Ruby wears the pants. I'm just spitballing. I could be completely wrong about that, but that's kind of the vibe I get. Also, she's narcissistic and she's very self-centered. So that again leads up to this point where Ruby's at Connections doing this thing, and they're making crazy claims on this Facebook group. We've covered a lot of their topics. There's even a post on here where Ruby's blaming the victims. Like it's just crazy. Ruby has gone full Mormon. Okay, you never go full Mormon, and she's gone full Mormon. So at first I thought it's Kevin and Ruby, but now what's happened is that Kevin has deleted or deactivated his Instagram. He's taken down his positive posts about Connections and removed videos that he's done in support of Connections. It's all gone. Okay, and Ruby is still there without her wedding ring doing videos for Connections. So something tells me that nobody agrees with what Ruby is doing, and Ruby is the pivotal pin here, the linchpin of this family, and she's like, I'm doing it. I don't care. Okay? So, yeah. So someone writes, this is actually sad, dude. Ruby ruined her family the moment she decided to befriend Jodie and prefers to keep Jodie in her life than those who actually cared for her. So, and this is something I kind of like, this is just one of the options I want to present to you. Now, Jodie is a person from Connections, and it has to be said that none of this shit hit the fan until Jodie entered the picture, and Connections started coming in with their language about like living in distortion and this fundamentalist cult-like mentality that Jodie has that Ruby has attached herself to. And she even convinced Kevin to do a bunch of that stuff, but Kevin wasn't going along with it the whole time, right? He did it because Ruby runs the show, right? And he was probably forced to do it, okay? Or likely she found him doing something he shouldn't have been doing and forced him into counseling and doing this thing so that he would, pay his penance for the thing that he did. Now, it's interesting that it's Kevin and Chad that have left, right? And not necessarily all the other girls. So that's really, really interesting. And then recently, 3 days ago, Sherry refollowed Ellie and Bonnie. Now, Sherry is the oldest daughter who, in one of her latest vlogs, came out and said, I hate this life. And I don't know if I'm going to vlog, continue going forward. And it really gave us some vibes about like what it was really like to be a part of that family. Now, eventually, Ruby's going to burn every bridge and the family's going to start speaking out, right? The reason why the other family isn't going to speak out is because they all have channels to protect. All their money, this whole family, all of their money is made by YouTube. Maybe the husbands sometimes work here and there, but the majority of their wealth is created by YouTube. And so they all have to protect that. And so I understand why they don't want to whistleblow, but eventually someone's going to whistleblow. Someone said, checked an hour ago, and she only followed Julie DeRue and grandparents as she has for the last year. Now she refollowed Ellie and Bonnie in the last hour. Something has definitely happened. Hoping if Sherry begins repairing relationships with the Griffiths family, maybe other siblings will follow suit. Excited for Sherry and others to learn about Ellie's pregnancy, Grandma and Grandpa's mission to Serbia, etc. Also goes to show she's not much of a Ruby copy as we may have thought. Hoping she is branching out and repairing relationships on her own. Good for her. So what's been happening is that Sherry has burned bridges because she's following in her mother's footsteps. And a lot of us, even me, considered Sherry to be a mini-me of Ruby. And that sucks because Sherry needs to get out on her own and do her own thing. And I think once Sherry moved out, I think she started realizing that that's a toxic way of living your life, is to be someone like Ruby. You should never be like Ruby. If anything, Ruby needs the most counseling and therapy ever about this whole situation. Ruby is the one tearing her family to shreds because of her belief system, right? And it's crazy because Mormons are it's so crazy because they believe so wholeheartedly in family that even their afterlife is surrounded by the family. And it's all about being reconnected with family. But they also will burn every damn bridge if you decide you don't want to be Mormon anymore and they were no longer family. You were like, not all the time, but for a lot of people who leave the Mormon faith, their families disown them because they're told by their leadership that that's it. You don't want to be connected to somebody who's living in sin, who might be in the utter darkness in the future, right? So, but the thing is that family does matter to these people, but Ruby is literally choosing Jodie, in my opinion, and Connections, and this absolute necessity or need to want to be somebody to tell other people what to do, that she will literally burn her whole family to the ground because she thinks she's right, because she's a stubborn jerk. So Sherry just now, this is 2 days ago, Sherry just now liked Bonnie's new video in her RV. It's been 2 years since the last time. It took less than an hour. It's crazy because these people know everything about these family. That's nuts. That person knew that it's been 2 years since Sherry liked anything on that other family. Now they know. Again, all that tells me is that, damn, if you don't think that these kids and families are followed closely by thousands, if not millions of people, you're wrong. These people don't even like 8 passengers and they know everything about them, including their like history. Okay? So that's why you shouldn't put your kids on the internet, because there are people like that out there. Did Kevin delete his Instagram? Yes, he deleted a couple days ago. Here's the video where she's victim blaming.
My daughter ended up pregnant.
Here's the video.
Very similar to other mothers who write and say, my daughter ended up pregnant, or I don't want my child to end up pregnant. It's like, well, there's no such thing. If you end up pregnant, then you had sex first. Or if you were pregnant, you were taken advantage of. And what did you do to put yourself in the situation where you're being taken advantage of?
What the fuck? What did you... I've never seen this before, guys. What did you just say, Ruby? Like, I know this is a video about your marriage falling apart, and likely because of things that you just said like this. Ruby just literally said, what did you do to put yourself in a situation to get taken advantage of? Are you out of your fucking mind? You can't say something like that. Are you kidding me? What about the kids? What about kids like me, young kids, who are taken advantage of? What did we do to put ourselves in those positions? What did we do? Clearly, this woman lived in a loving household, and that's great, and didn't have to experience any of that stuff, and that's great. Love it for you, Ruby. But shut your fucking mouth when you don't know what you're talking about. Unbelievable. There's the picture of her with no wedding ring, but that seems to be on her right hand, but I guess it's flipped because of the camera. I guess, I don't know. Moms of Truth Insta is gone? I didn't notice that. Oh, I guess I can check. I wonder if I'm blocked. I'm probably blocked. Yeah, I'm not. I don't see it. I'm blocked. But I think I'm on the Moms of Truth Facebook group. Yeah, I'm still in it. I wonder why they didn't boot me out. That's kind of weird. It's kind of creeping me out at the same time. Like, why didn't they boot me out of this group? But whatever, I'll take it. So Moms of Truth with Jodie and Ruby, I am part of this group. 10,000, almost 11,000 members in this Facebook group. That's crazy, okay? The most recent post, let's go most recent. Is she still there? Oh, it only shows most relevant? I can't show, yeah, newest activity. Was August 31st. And it's odd that the post before that was June 6th. So the most recent, maybe let's do most recent. New post, here we go. Here we go. New post. Empowering Joy begins next Saturday, September 10th. This was yesterday. This training is designed to help you two things: transform pain and joy, blah, blah, blah. Again, so it's going strong. And so Ruby's doing her videos. This was August 31st. It's now September 3rd. So yeah, Ruby's sitting here doing her videos and just not looking back. No comments on that video though. So it's still going. That's okay. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. I can't believe I'm still in that group, you idiots. Now that I've outed myself, I'll be blocked ASAP. I don't go to the group anyway. I don't care. People sending me the videos from inside the group, so I don't have time anyway.
Your job is not to provide them with a father. Your job is not to provide them with a father. Your child.
Interesting. So, I mean, the other option is that, or the other thing that people are thinking is that this has been Jodie's plan. Jodie's wanted to break up the marriage and wanted Sherry to be part of this thing because Sherry she brings the clout, she brings the YouTube knowledge and all that kind of stuff and wants to do that. And Sherry, maybe her teamed up. But the issue here is that Sherry threw her family away. Look, if you had the opportunity to do something that you love, which you think, and you might think you're right? Ruby might think that she's right. Okay, if you had the opportunity to do something that's right, but you're going to throw your family away in the process, what are you choosing? You're choosing family, especially if that thing that you're pursuing is about helping families. How are you going to be a mommy, counselor, vlogger, parenting vlogger when your whole family is falling apart? Now, again, this is all conjecture. The other option is that Chad has done something, right? And they can't kick him out till he's 18. And his dad's like, okay, well, we'll just go off and I'll take care of Chad over here. That is also an option, everybody. But why would she not be wearing her wedding ring? Okay, we know that Chad struggles as a normal teenager and he could be struggling with anything. It doesn't matter what he's struggling with. You're still his parent. You got to be there. Okay, but Mormons are weird. If their kid is struggling with something like sin, they're just going to be like, well, we'll try our best. We'll send him to a camp that he sleeps out under the stars for 8 months. And if that doesn't work, he's no longer our son. That's basically what that's going to be. So Mormons struggle with that because their culture tells them that if your kids are living in sin, do what you can. But if you can't anymore, then they're no longer part of your family. It's so heartbreaking. There are so many people hurt from religion, especially Mormonism and fundamental Christians. It's just, you can't count it. Okay, the church, in my opinion, has done a lot of good. And that includes Mormon churches. These people give billions of dollars to charities. They support overseas work and all that kind of stuff. And, I've been a part of a church that has built wells in Kenya, and I would love to start and continue to do that work. And I love that stuff. There's churches that serve their communities. Churches they do good stuff, okay? But I'm not sure it overshadows the bad that the church does. Okay, and this might be another video for another day. But the church, there's nobody I know who've gone to church their whole life who's not been hurt by the church. It's to some degree or another. Okay, at some level or some time have been hurt to some degree. Okay, if you know anybody in church, if you yourself have gone to church, have you been hurt to some degree? disenfranchised or whatever, the church does so much damage because they actually don't love people the way they say they do. They don't. If the church just did the one thing, which was love, you would see a thriving church today. The issue is that the church became a money-making venture and a place where celebrities go to build their own wealth. That's it. That's the modern day church. Catholics have stayed the same through all of history, but Catholics have always been that way. Catholics has always been about building wealth for the Catholics. Catholics have always been about like idolatry and worshiping the Pope and worshiping idols. Okay? They haven't changed ever. And they're dwindling. Everybody is dwindling. Every religion is dwindling. And good. Because again, I'll go back to my original statement. The church has done so much harm. It does not outweigh the good that it does. I'm telling you that. And I know that's going to be very, very hard to hear for a lot of people. That's just my opinion, okay? Anyway, that's where they're coming from. So Ruby and Kevin are sitting here in this precarious predicament, okay? Where Kevin can't be divorced, I don't think, and be a BYU professor, okay? Ruby needs to be in a marriage with a loving household because she's telling people how to achieve that when she doesn't have that. So, and here's the sad part about all this. It's not like, oh, I'm so glad that they did this. And, this is comeuppance. This is karma. This is whatever. This sucks, man. This sucks ass. Because they have young children. Okay? They've got older children. They got a whole spectrum of children that are sitting there who, they might not know that their life has been the way it was. Maybe Sherry does. Maybe Chad started to realize it. But the kids have only known one thing. And I've said this many times. No matter what type of abuse you grew up in, and this is like a low-level sharing abuse, right? She's just a shitty mom who gave away all her privacy. It is abuse. There are kids who've gone through worse abuse. Let's be real, okay? But the one true fact remains is that as kids who go through abuse, we don't know any different. So until we step outside of that circumference of the abuse, we don't actually realize we were abused, right? And so these kids are in the thick of it right now, maybe starting to realize that, damn, it wasn't normal what was going on. But it's not fun because Ruby wants to throw her family away to be a counselor. And Kevin, I don't know what's going on. And again, they're not going to tell you the truth, right? Even though they told you so many secrets of their family in the past and all their kids' puberties and dates and shaving their legs and acne and sex talks and everything else. But on this one thing, they stay mum. They stay silent because why? Oh, you don't deserve to know, right? If you're going to be real and raw and tell us all this stuff, why don't you be real and raw with your own marriage? But again, it's not funny. It's not, oh, I'm so glad this happened. And there are a lot of people in these groups and these Reddit threads that are like, they'd love to see this. I don't love to see this, okay? Because again, I try to be here and to be a voice for children who don't have the voice. But when this stuff happens, that also sucks for them. It's not good for them either. The best case scenario for this is to Ruby, Kevin, step away from the internet forever, okay? Go get full, not Mormon, okay, marriage counseling, somewhere else. Get that shit figured out. Get your family back together. Live off the internet for the rest of your lives. Be normal for once. But is it too late? That's my question. I don't know. But that's the only way you're going to save this. And these kids are suffering. And everybody's laughing about it, and not everybody, but a lot of people are laughing about it and saying, oh, but it's Corey, you got to remember these kids, guys. They don't know, but they still love their parents. And these parents are such selfish twats. It bothers me. But if they are unsafe as well, then maybe they're in a better position away from their mom. But it doesn't sound like they are. It sounds like the girls are with their mom and the boys might be with their dad. I don't know. They're not going to tell us. So all we can do is go through the threads and go through these anonymous people who say, yeah, it's been confirmed that they're not there anymore and all that kind of stuff, and talk about it because they brought this on themselves, right? This is the part of the karma that is deserved. They put their entire lives on the internet for people like me and others to disseminate what's going on. And that sucks. But it does come with its benefits and the multi-millions of dollars that you can make doing it. It's just a matter, is the money worth ruining your entire family's existence? It's never going to be worth it, I promise you. Anybody on their deathbed who grew up wealthy or came into money or whatever case and threw their family away for that same wealth, I bet you they would say, I wish I didn't do it. I mean, I bet you they would. Anybody on their deathbed is going to say, no, I'm glad I ruined my family and I was rich and lonely. No. Money does not overcome what family can do and what happiness can bring you. Money doesn't bring happiness. It can solve a lot of problems, don't get me wrong. But true family, true connections, true all that kind of stuff, it's such pure joy that money can never buy, right? Money can help, I'm saying. So that's what's going on with this. It's just sad all around. I'm sure she's not going to update anybody. She's going to continue doing her parenting where she's like, I'm better than everybody. but everybody sees right through it. Just like bits of Brie. So if they're living probably the worst life she's ever lived, pretending. Stop pretending, because you influence people. And if you pretend, they think that's okay. And you did it wrong. You put yourself in the position. Now you have to answer for all the shit that you've done. And they're not gonna. Everybody take a deep breath. Mormons, right? Jeez. Anyway, I hope that you guys are doing okay. And don't take this video as like, don't ever get divorced or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that some of this stuff can be mitigated by just not being a selfish douchebag. That's what I'm saying. Maybe not being a part of religion. Get away from that toxic bullshit, right? Maybe that's maybe what I'm saying. I don't know. But I've got an idea of what I'm doing. I've had an epiphany, a faith moment. On my super no good, bad, crazy packed couple of days, I had an epiphany. And it's something I'm going to be doing pretty soon, and I'm really excited about it. Especially for those of you who've come from church, have been burned by church, who no longer go to church, but you still desire something that you're missing out of there. So coming soon, I'll talk about it. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing amazing. I hope that no matter what you're going through in your struggles, that you know you are valuable. Even Ruby is valuable. Everybody's valuable, especially to your kids, especially to the people around you and your friends and family. Everybody needs you here. We need the best version of you. So take care of yourself, okay? And don't forget how valuable you are, and I will see you tomorrow.